Let's get into it. Before I do, guys, I want to talk to you about LinkedIn Talent Solutions. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Your business is always on your mind, which means that it's time to hire. When it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. That's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates all in one place. How does it work? Post your job. LinkedIn's new feature helps you write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip. Add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn helps them find high-quality hires. All you have to do is post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/NFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. Guys, we got superlatives.
Let's do it.
All right, so this started because ESPN put an article with where they, they're getting desperate at this time of year, and so is everybody else. A superlative for every team heading into the NFL season. What was their superlative again for the Browns?
So we got it right here. It's most likely to pepper the wall and hope something sticks.
And Bill Barnwell wrote this whole article. He came up with all 32 superlatives.
Do we have the ones for the other AFC North teams or no?
I can go look them up real quick while you guys go over yours.
What do you guys think of that one? Buying that?
Yeah.
Are they talking about the entire roster, or are they just talking about the quarterbacks?
I think he's talking about quarterback mostly.
If you read the little description, he says there's a lot of different changes, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to the quarterback position, and that was in reference to the quarterback position.
Yeah. Right, because we talked about it's a 4-way competition, we think. No, you can make a case for all 4 guys, I guess, in theory. You can make a case for and against all 4 guys, why they should or shouldn't play. Obviously, time will tell as it goes along. Maybe there will be a stronger case for one over the other, but
I would say, when it comes to that, least likely to know what the hell is going on, like with that. Like, I don't think there's nobody that could give you the definitive map. If you talk to 96 different or 100 different people in the Cleveland media, I guarantee that they're going to give you some different pecking order and some different reason as to why they believe that this pecking order is going to be this or that. And I think people just have no clue. I don't think
Kevin Stefanski knows.
I don't
think Andrew Berry knows.
They're just winging it. Like, I think they might go to practice and be like, yeah, he was balling. What y'all think? Yeah, you want to start him? Let's go.
We saw last week during the open media session of OTAs, 3 of the quarterbacks got legit 11-on-11 reps. Shedeur didn't. Kevin Stefanski said yesterday that in tomorrow's OTA session open to media, Shedeur is going to get those 11-on-11 reps they didn't get last time. So they're constantly shuffling, whether we know it, whether we see it or not. That quarterback competition is fluid. Who the odd man out is tomorrow, we'll find out in about 24, 25 hours. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anything from one day in terms of quarterback 1 was with the first team, quarterback 2 is with the second, third, and fourth, is going to be the same the next day. And I think it's going to continue to change all throughout the summer until we get into those joint practices. They have 2 scheduled joint practices this training camp. And I think that'll be the first time we get a real indication of which way Kevin Stefanski and that coaching staff's leaning in terms of who is going to be our quarterback.
I don't even know if that will be, because let's say they're leaning towards Flacco. I still think they're going to play the young guys more in those situations.
I'm just saying get a lean.
Because Flacco doesn't need the reps that the other guys need. So I don't know if we'll get a feel for it.
The one thing I can guarantee is, listen, it's going to happen at some point. Whoever you like is going to get a shot. Mm-hmm. And it's up to that dude to do whatever he wants with the shot.
Yeah.
So it is not going to be, because here's the thing, you got to see whatever they do right now, and I just thought about this, whatever they do today, you could be looking great. But you don't think if somebody come out in the opportunity that they get, and say, for instance, they playing in the inter-squad scrimmages with the other teams, and somebody lights it up, you don't think that counts more than what they do now?
What they done for me lately.
Yeah. Or somebody could have looked terrible from the whole OTAs, everything. They get into the preseason game, and they light it up.
Absolutely.
That's going to count more.
But I do think, like, a lot of this is determined behind the curtain.
Right.
See, right? And
It's like an iceberg. You see the
is-
tip,
yeah,
but
right.
the majority of it is underwater.
That's right.
Right.
And we're not going to the stats in practice and the stats in the preseason.
You know they're coming tomorrow,
are-
by the way.
Right.
We're
But
going to
that-
get them tracked again.
Kevin Stefanski's not picking the starting quarterback based on practice and preseason stats. He's basing it on which guy gives me the best chance to win. I think.
And-
what else? And if that happens to correlate with the stats, great. If it doesn't,
And anybody knows about the scientific method, right? You got controls and you got variables. And the thing that we can't really take into consideration is, like you said, we don't get to see. We see one practice and then there's 3 practices.
Yeah, right.
Where they just doing a bunch of stuff.
That's right.
Like what am I supposed to take from that?
And-
I don't know. Who could be playing there during that time period?
And not only that, G, and I can only speak from college, because when I covered Texas A&M, we got to go shoot the first 25 minutes of practice, then we would get kicked out. I'm not sure if it's apples to apples and how they allow media to watch an entire OTAs. A&M was so deliberate on what they allowed you to see, and so they wouldn't do any one-on-ones while we were
crazy.
there. As soon as they kicked us out and they made you close your cameras and walk out, as we're leaving, you could see on the far field, they're starting to do one-on-one receiver DB drills with live quarterbacks. So, what we saw wasn't even the good stuff. We were seeing what they wanted us to see.
You think they'd be laughing at us?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Yeah.
so even with, and I'm not sure the NFL may do it totally different. Are they allowed to stay for the entire OTAs? I don't know, but I gotta imagine the stuff they're doing in the open media session. They're not putting in installs. They're not giving away any
Placebo.
tactic.
There's
It
nothing-
is the most vanilla part.
certainly not this point
Exactly,
of the year, yeah.
exactly.
All right, let's get to the superlatives that we came up with for the Browns. Let's go to Mike's first.
Mike, you're up first.
So I thought long and hard about this, and I came up with 2, but the one I decided to go with was the Browns are the most likely team to have more A-block topics on First Take than wins in 2025. Now, I did a little research. I went back in the last 2 weeks. And if anyone doesn't know what an A-block is, by the way, that is the first segment in a TV show. So before First Take goes to commercial. In the last 2 weeks, how many A-block topics do you think the Browns had?
On ESPN?
On First Take
On
in
First Take?
specific, yep.
It's 5 days out of the week. That's 10 possible days.
So 11 because I included yesterday.
11 who's yesterday, 6.
Spot on.
Really?
All Shedeur Sanders
That's
related.
crazy.
6, yeah.
I think the Browns are going to win between 4 and 6 games this year.
Yeah.
If they had 6 A-block topics in the middle of May
Yeah.
and the beginning of June with nothing going on,
Yeah.
they're going to have at minimum 20 A-block topics
That's
during the
funny.
season. And I'll give you the breakdown.
Yeah.
When is Shedeur going to start?
Right.
Is it time to make the move to Shedeur? Shedeur started. How did he look? Is this Shedeur's job? Did he play well enough to stop the Browns from using both of their first round
Dion's
picks?
comments
Did
affect the
Dion-
way he played?
They are going to have more A-block topics on First Take
Yeah.
than any other sub-500 team in football. And I even went back because I had to go back and skim through all those A-block segments. Guess how many the Titans had in that same stretch? Who had the number 1 overall pick
0.
and took a quarterback? No.
I think they had 2.
1.
1.
6-1 in the last 11 shows on First
They're not
Take.
sexy.
So,
And
and Shedeur is. Shedeur has that attention.
Yes,
he has
people
that
are
aura.
interested in him.
He has
Good
that
and
draw.
bad. People are interested.
Yep.
And you know what's wild? I think that topic has something to do with why is Will Levis still there? And they're keeping it like Will Levis is still.
Do you know what the topic was?
Yeah.
What was it?
Why is Cam Ward and Will Levis still splitting? Like, is it actually a quarterback
Right,
competition?
right.
That was
Right,
the
like-
All right, let's hold our superlatives to later. Let's do
Our
that
guest
so we're not
isn't here
rushing
yet.
through it. What's that?
Our guest isn't here yet.
Okay. Well, then let's do G. Bush's one.
G. Bush, you're up next.
Yeah.
I just sent him, so no, I did send him. Here we go. Most likely to ask, who is that guy running on the field?
Yeah.
Like
That's a good one.
that, like, and I'm not talking about just like all. I'm saying on kickoff, on punt teams.
Yeah.
Somebody made a tackle on return. Who is this fullback? Who is the? I think you're gonna starting to see the roster turnover a little bit. You're starting to see more rookies, right? You're starting to see some of those lesser known names, right? Even our backups are a little bit different now. We used to have the Hudsons of the world. We could always have James Hudson. He was always here. You always had some names that you got Jerome Ford, but now you got a lot of new guys. You got a lot of different dudes, and especially on defense. You might have some new linebackers. You got Baker. You got Schlesinger. You got some different guys in the secondary. So I think there's going to be a bunch of new people running around, and I think that your household favorites, the Nick Chubbs, the Amari Coopers, all those guys, I think you'll start to see, especially at receiver. And what is Deontay Johnson doing? If there's one thing that is crazy, I said it. Listen, Deontay, you must have been listening. I told Myles Garrett he didn't have to come to training camp. I didn't say nothing about Deontay Johnson. What were you
crazy
doing?
Not being here. What is happening?
What were you doing, sir?
Does he want to have a career anymore?
Would you like to just get with one of these? Listen, just find a quarterback you like.
Yeah.
Just which one to say, I'm with that guy. He throws me the football, and at least you got a 25% chance of knowing that he might be the starter. I don't know where he was at.
Yeah, that's weird. We got our guest or no?
Let me do a mic check with him, and then we'll get back to yours.
Okay, we'll do mine later. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll get back to him.
Mine is kind of in the same vein as Mike's. I didn't kind of put it the exact same way, but it's there it is. All right, most likely to make bigger news off the field rather than on. Just kind of what you're saying there. You know, they're going to create headlines off the field. Now, hopefully by some point in the season they'll start creating headlines in season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it's Kenny, I was about to call him Kenny Flackett. Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco playing early in the season. I know, and maybe Joe ends up playing well, but it's not, if the Browns are not very good and you're playing a quarterback that's been in the league a while, including Pickett, nobody's going to, that's not creating a lot of headlines on national shows.